Hey, how's it going? I'm Abram with abrambuck.com, and today I'm going to be going over selection tools in Illustrator. If you go up here, you can see the selection tool. Generally, this is selected by default. You can hit V to select it, and that's just you grab things. You can move it around. It's a very useful tool. But then there's the direct select tool, and what you can do with this is you can move the individual points around of an object. See, if I hit V, this will grab the object in its entirety. I cannot manipulate each point, but if you hit A, direct select, and click on the object, you can see how many points are in it. See, this has 1, 2, 3, 4 points in this path. And also when you click a path with the direct select tool selected, you will see these little anchor points come out, and that'll let you just round the corners. If you want to select a point individually, you can do that. See, I just selected this point. Now I can just round this corner. If you just select the object, it will show you all of them at the same time. But if I want one point individually, I'll just click on it. Another useful tool, the group selection tool. I'm not gonna say it's useful. It's kind of redundant, but it lets you select groups of objects and then group them together. Essentially, I could just grab these with the direct select and hit Control G to group them. That's under here. That's object group. And also, I wanted to talk about groups for a minute. So you see, I grouped this head in this little T shape. That's his face. Then I want to group these horns to the helmet. I want that to be another group. So essentially, I have two groups right here. I have the helmet with the horns, and then I have the helmet itself. And this is useful if I ever wanted to just go in and select just the helmet for some reason. You see, if you have a group, if you group a group, then you pretty much, it just looks like one group. But if you double click on it, you'll go into isolation mode, and you can see you can dive into the group. So I'm in this group right here, and these horns are not grouped inside of this group. I have to go outside the group to see the group of groups. And it's like, I'm gonna do the same thing with the shield. I'm gonna take the front piece of the shield and the back piece and just hit Control G to group it. Alternatively, I could have used group select. I'm gonna do that with this sword, and I'm gonna group that, the handle, and then the the blade. Then I'm gonna go to object, arrange, center back, so I can center it behind this so it looks like he's holding it. And then I'm gonna use the selection tool. I have group selected, and then I hit group. So you see I have this group right here on the arm piece and the sword. That's one group. Again, if I double click, go inside that group, I have the sword group. If I double click, then you see they're the individual pieces again. And you can see each level. So this is 1, 2 groups. I click in, you see I'm inside the group. And you see I'm inside this group's group. In a way, it's like the Matrix, because you can make as many groups as you want. That's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna grab these, and then I'm gonna hit group. Or you can just hit Control G. Only reason that's doing that because I have the group selection tool selected. I'm gonna go back to direct select. So now I have this group of the head, group of the arm, group of the shield, group of the legs. And now I'm gonna group the whole body together. So this is one big group. And when I use the selection tool, you'll see I'll just grab the whole thing. But if I hit, let's say I wanted to edit just one part of this group, if I hit A, direct select, now I can grab these pieces and it ignores the grouping. But if I just wanted to select this point and, I don't know, like round that off, I could do that. And it ignores the group, so you just have to be careful when you're using the direct select tool. But then I wanted to show this because you see I have like groups within groups. If I double click, I'm inside of the overall group. You see I have these groups. Then I double click on this inside of that group. Let's see, what else can you do? Direct select. Group select, I guess I'll show you group selection. I don't like going to it because you can just double click, get inside the group, but I can, let's say I wanted to select this helmet inside this group. I can select the helmet, and then I click again, it'll select the helmet in the face. Then I click again, and it's like this whole group. And now I can move this, The same with the sword. If I click once, it's just going to select this piece. I click twice, it will select the sword group. If I click 3 times, it'll select that sword and arm grouped together. And this gets it can get very confusing really fast with all the groups. But essentially, let me move this these selections. Basically, what's happening is we have this. Sorry about that. We have this overall group, right? That is the warrior group, and inside of that group, we have the helmet and horns group, right? And inside of that group, we have this change 30 helmet in T-shape, right? And we can actually do this for everything because everything is just a group inside of the group. So let's do it for that arm or the shield. So right here, shield. I don't know if I spelled shield right. Got a shield group, and that's just the group. That's just the shield, and this little front piece. That's one group. See right here, that's one group. Now over here, this one is convoluted, just like the helmet and horns group, because it's technically 3 groups, or 2 sets of groups. We have the sword and arm, and then inside of that we have the blade and handle. You see right here, we've got in this group, if I double click sword and arm group, double clicking that, I got the sword and the handle group. And if I double click, now it is individual pieces again. And one way you know you're in isolation mode or you're inside the group matrix is if you double click, you notice everything else is like the opacity went down and everything. That just means you're in isolation mode. See, opacity went down and everything. To get out of it, you just go somewhere that's not an object and double click again, and you'll escape. Escape the matrix, as it were. And then we have the body, which is not body shape, which is not a group at all. That's just in the warrior group, but it's just loose. And then we have legs. So if you look, the amount of boxes are the amount of times you're gonna have to click to get into these groups. Let's see, see 1 click right here, 2 click. Now I'm inside the sword and arm group, 3 click inside the blade and handle group. And to get to individual pieces, just click 1 more time. And I really like groups. I like grouping things in groups because you see, if I want to just move the shield or change something on the shield, this is pretty much my favorite way to work. Just group a bunch of groups. And hopefully this helps explain the selection tools and the groups. Thank you.